What's going on, YouTube family? It's your girl Alva Panthera, and I'm here with your intuitive spiritual message. So this is collective. You take what resonates, and when the rest is needed, if it's part of your journey, you'll know when to use it. Okay. So a lot of times find ourselves asking how. We want to focus more on the who, what, when, where, and why. So many reasons, and each one having just as many reasons. The thing with life is, though, we want to really be following this space right here. This is where the soul is. The whales just started sounding, and I didn't even know this had whales. Oh, it sounds good. Yes. So, ancient knowledge some of you are tapping into right now. And when I mean ancient, I mean beyond this world. So, you live in this world, but you're not of it. Divine source, in this crescent moon phase, which is about having courage to move forward. In the sign of Leo, which is represented by the sun. The sun has a lot to do with the ego, your willpower. And within this, or the results of this, would be creativity, romance, or at least the picture painted from these energies would be creativity to us, children, romance, our own business. The card that came out, Miracle of Isis. Telling you. Ancient wisdom beyond this world. The miracle of Isis. To bring back Osiris, to revive him from the dead. First and foremost, to find, him as he was dismembered in many different areas. So, poor thing. But, it took for her to have to look for him first. All of the pieces of him, look for them first, put them together, and then breathe life into a body that one in pieces, but put back together. So wounded, extremely wounded, to then have to breathe life into it. Okay. Taking a trip down to the underworld, the world of transformation, Scorpio energy. To come face to face with what it is that brings forth the energy of enemies and those bad habits that you can't shake off. Miracle of Isis. Miraculous healing of the goddess. Let's see what the message says. Miracle of Isis on page 106. Bring that to a 7. 7 talks about divine assistance. Now, when we talk about divine assistance, it's the force that is. It's the force that creates all things. The planets included. So that force that created that energy, divine source. Okay. (106). Let's get to the page. So that's that divine assistance there. Excuse me if, you know, see how my energy is, how I'm just like, because a lot's about to shift. And I would love for you all to take a look at the video. I'll post it in the link below, in my description box below, of Aphrodite's message, the Starseed Healer. And honestly, this is spirit making me say this on here, because obviously it's going to be on YouTube. Because I was thinking of sharing it with a particular group of people, but this is that particular group of people, whoever decides to watch this video and find that link below, because you'll see why, or the connection that I'm feeling to even seeing the Miracle of Isis card come out. But the card talks about Isis was known as a talented practitioner of the healing arts and was capable of miraculous healings. For you, beloved, she offers a miracle healing. No matter how much you have struggled with the particular matter, no matter how impossible it may seem to imagine your life without this old wound, addiction, problem, relationship issue for a lot of you, or inner struggle being a part of it, you are being guided now to accept the possibility of miraculous healing, to let go and let the goddess be. The incantation for this message: love and light, peace and power. Miracle healing descends this hour. The wings of Isis drenched with feeling. Nothing escapes her miracle healing. Surrendered to her from my heart so true, which is now exactly what I choose to do. Gratitude to Isis for the miracle coming to me. Her love and grace now set me free. Divine assistance. The Chariot, the Tower, carries the energy of justice, Isis energy. From knowing who you are, the polarity of Libra is Aries. Knowing who you are, the I am that I am, is the Aries Mars energy. Okay. Mars talks about your use and action of will. At the bottom of the deck, we have power over the 7 scorpions. Now this, you have 7 chakras, right? Power to conjure lower vibrational forces, the lowest, the root chakra. Okay, we're going to give it the energy it deserves. The root chakra is Mars energy. The color red has a lot to do with what you have, but what you have is also connected to Taurus energy, Venus energy, core values when it comes down to your self-worth. Now we're talking about Venus. Venus is actually in Cancer right now. Venus in Cancer, we're looking at the 2 of Cups if we're talking about tarot. So just within breaking it down that way, you can, if you know tarot, if you know, or if you've been studying, what you should be doing, you know, it's you want to be a student of life, an eternal student of life. Okay. As long as you're human, you're always learning. Always. It never stops. So for some of you, yes, you've done the work. You've done what you, if you've done the work and you're still living, you're still doing the work. So there's no such thing as you've done the work. You will always be doing the work as long as you are in this flesh. Always will be doing the work. You know what I mean? Let's look at power over the 7 scorpions. Because this is basically having the ability to You're around energy that is low vibrational. And even if that energy attempts to hide it, that won't be able to be a thing around you, because you have power over the 7 chakras, because you know yourself. You know, when you know yourself and you have power over your 7 chakras, you can have power over anything that tries to, you know, add any friction or static within your alignment. Power over 7 scorpions. And the power starts from your childhood, the root, your self-worth, your core values. Okay? Some of you need to think back if there was something you wanted to do that you thought was part of creativity, but you got in trouble for it because of where you decided to express your creativity. That was a perfect example from the Most Powerful Woman experience. I'm going to keep mentioning that because that experience was exactly that, an experience, okay? And at some point I'll see if I can, you know, whatever. Anyway, so the example that was made was a child that sees a wall and sees it as an open canvas, right? And decides to draw on the wall. The parent has 2 ways of responding. Well, 2 ways of acknowledging the situation: reacting or responding. The parent that reacts will say, well, won't really much say. They'll actually probably reprimand or scream at the child, say, why did you do that? You shouldn't be drawing on the wall. Blah, blah, blah. You drew on my wall. That's the reactive parent. The parent that responds says, oh my God, that's amazing. That's beautiful. But next time, let's put it on a piece of paper, put it on a frame so we can hang it up and it can always be on the wall. Because we're not supposed to draw on the wall. We can draw on pieces of paper, big pieces of papers that are, we see the difference. Now the child is like, oh, okay, I can put, oh, this, now the other one, done, shut down. So think back to your childhood when that happened for you. And go back to yesterday's video, because that's what it talked about. Your childhood dreams and visions, the cards you were dealt, and where you're at now. Okay. So power over the 7 scorpions on page 125, 8. Okay. Going up, we're ascending, expanding, because you want to ascend and expand. Because ascension, you're just going up in a straight line. At some point, making it kind of weak, you want to be able to have a full circumference of that growth. 125. You're being initiated into the magic of conjuring to have power to affect low vibrational forces through your own will and spoken word. You are guided to use this powerful gift. You are guided to use this powerful gift with compassion and discernment, with mercy and non-judgment. You can then manage any toxicity in your life swiftly and with great effect. Okay? So you have to be someone who's extremely mature to have this type of power, because this type of power gets in the wrong hands. Now we have an oppressor, which you may have seen already, you know what I'm saying? But let's keep this moving, shall we? Let's see what the energy is about for the collective, or what the angels and ancestors message is for the collective. I hope you all are well. Okay. Some of you could be in hermit mode right now, which is good, right? Because you're in the planning phase. You just left the new moon where you wrote down our new goals, right? With the solar eclipse, part of setting new goals this time around, with Mercury in retrograde, new moon in Gemini ruled by Mercury, as well as Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So we got a little bit of Chiron in there because Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury and Chiron. So now we have a shift in your perception, especially when it comes to your wounds. For some of you, today's the 14th, Ashe Spirit, carrying connection, Sagittarius energy, Jupiter energy. Jupiter is in Pisces. It's an expansion and connections. If you allow yourself to be love, The High Priestess is at the bottom of the deck with harness your mystic power. Harness mystic power. Mist has to do with water. Harness the mystic, the mystique within you. And align with caring connections, spiritual people who see things the way you do, feel things the way you feel it. Because that's a little bit deeper to see. But then when you around people who feel things the way you do, that's a caring connection right there. You know, it'll show you, because that's usually the last point that most people tap into is the spiritual, because the mind and the body are so tangible and so physical. At least people think the mind. Anyway, so the spiritual part tends to become the final aspect, or the identity, the life purpose, your sun sign. There's a lot happening in these messages right now. Release the old and rest. Yeah, that explains it, because the current transit right now, Saturn squaring Uranus, or Uranus, says Saturn is the planet, and this is the time passages. Shout out to y'all. Saturn is the planet of restriction and structure, while Uranus is the planet of revolution. With Saturn in a dynamic aspect to Uranus, there is a global need to break free from old, outworn rules and traditions. Working with authority turns out to be more difficult than expected. Polarization is the order of the day. Polarity, with the new gradually replacing the old, although not without a struggle. Now, that right there where it says polarization is the order of the day, you can definitely feel that full moon eclipse. Well, that can mean something to some of y'all. The full moon in Gemini, that was November 30th. That could also have something to do with these current connections. But you could feel this new moon eclipse, because the new moon eclipse was basically the ring of fire. So you can see the newness with the old, you know, the old with the new around it. It's all tied up is the next card, number 23. So anything that you felt that you may have been tied up in, that's where you could be seeing these changes, because she's all tied up, but she don't look too mad about it. You know, she got like this little, it's like having a plan. It's like, you know, this energy, like, although everyone has the attitude of doing their own thing, they might at times have to rein it in to accommodate circumstances. The potential is there for eventual breakthrough that leads to a new order. 1423 could mean something to you. 523 could mean something to you. Now, 523 would be Jupiter and Gemini. So there's an expansion of the mind happening, but you cannot be afraid. If you're afraid, it's because you're still in that old way of thinking. It's like, we're about to give you what you want. We're about to give you exactly what you want, if not more. What are you going to do when it shows up? Are you going to freeze up? Are you going to accept it? Or are you going to still have your arms closed like you don't want what you want? You ask for it. We're going to the tarot. We're going to the Two of Cups is right here looking at me. So, Venus and Cancer, loud and clear. We have the Miracle of Isis, power over the 7 scorpions to realign the chakras. So these cards come down to a 5. There's change happening here. Yeah. Excuse me, wizard. Let me know about this heart guardian here. What is your message for the collective? You're telling them to love and let themselves be loved with the Miracle of Isis and power over the 7 scorpions. Heart guardian, speak to the collective. What is your message? The Chariot. Feel. He said, keep feeling it through, keep feeling it through, keep feeling it through. Eight of Swords. Confirmation after confirmation now. Feel it through. That's that Jupiter and Gemini energy that we was just talking about. This heart guardian, that your heart is being protected and guided when it comes to your feelings. So don't be afraid to go deep into these situations. Okay, these low vibrational forces, so you can come out victorious once and for all from this particular cycle that keeps you in this loop. Okay, it's like you've exhausted the levels of success within that loop. Now it's time to move forward, but something must first be dug up from the root, okay, and cleansed. Lovers, Gemini energy, double Gemini energy here. Let me see. This is This is 14 again. Expansion of the mind. Major expansion of the mind when you feel. So basically, whatever download you were receiving, feeling it through is going to shift your mind, as most downloads do. But these downloads that I'm talking about, again, check that video that I'm gonna put in the description box below. Okay. And this is part of the energy I've been feeling for a while too. That's why I'm so grateful for her putting out that message. She is truly the starseed healer. Okay. Because there are so many different traditions, but there's levels to this energy, yo. It's time to rise up above. And the card that I kept seeing before I even came up on here was the Move Beyond Ancestral Patterns card. Move beyond ancestral patterns. Move beyond ancestral patterns. Move beyond ancestral patterns. Yes, don't forget where you came from, but move beyond that. They connected to the stars. They're telling us to move the fuck on. Like, come on now. Trust in higher forces. Trust in higher forces. Trust in higher forces. Miracles, the force that actually creates everything. Y'all heard me talking about it before I started this video, this reading. Okay. That force that creates all things, including the sun, the planets, the water that you see, everything that you're seeing. What is that? That's I don't want to know exactly what it is. I know I'm gonna keep tapping into it though. Feel me? It's time to really, this is why I keep saying, like, when you start getting these downloads and these messages and you start getting into this spiritual journey, like, it's time to really step up and do what you're supposed to be doing when you're on this path. Clean it up. Okay? And that's for you to be able to experience life, not be stuck in the loop. Being stuck in the loop, that's going to be a different zone. Are y'all following me? A different zone. Them Twilight Zone. My Twilight Zone. See what this is, because they didn't want to come up. The Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles. You see her sending out that signal? But she's in the water, though. This is the Queen of Pentacles in the water. Unorthodox. The gospel's there. Beneath the surface, beneath it all, those deep-rooted wounds that's connected to your life purpose and what you're striving for. Make sure you're not sitting in your comfort zone, baby. Please don't sit in that comfort zone. This ain't the time. This age of Aquarius is no joke. Okay? It's almost like you're not going to sit here and squat 200 pounds if you know you've never done it before. So, because your body's not going to be able to take it. So that's how the universe is going to treat everybody within this realm. If it knows that you can't take these lows, these downloads, because you're holding on to stuff and you're not allowing yourself to shift and allowing your mind to not listen to your heart, not listen to your heart, okay? It's only going to send a signal that you're rejecting the change to keep you going, thriving, creating with the universe. Because it's about co-creation right now. But we don't want to. Three of Wands and the Fool card. Aries energy. It's like you were waiting there for a bit. And I feel like for some of you, this message might take you to that other side where you're like, okay, you know what? Whatever this is that's tying me up, that's causing these hostilities, anytime I'm reflecting and it pisses me off, taking me off balance, I'm going to figure this out and clear it up. Get clear with it so I can enjoy my success and happiness. Okay? It's like you can feel the in and out. You want to pull the curtain, but you don't. So when you do a little bit, and then you leave it open, try to go back to the other world, but that shit closes on you. Like you all tied up. All tied up here. Take that leap of faith. Because what's next? It's like once you make that decision right here to get on the Chariot, okay, which is following your intuition before it makes sense, because you making sense of it only puts you here in the Eight of Swords, overthinking. But once you make that decision, okay, to look at yourself, and I'm going to show you the look at yourself I'm talking about. It's the same one that's under this hostility card, which would be the Eight of Swords, if anything. Is the Mirror Guardian. Okay, look at that. Look at that energy. Take time to reflect, because when you take time to reflect, you can now, you see that signal that you see here? This is way out there, but down here, this is how it looks. Okay? You send that signal out to the universe that you're ready to get moving. See that? Mother Earth, your intuition is guiding you to push through from knowing who you are, utilizing your feelings, because this is Capricorn. Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn. The polar opposite, polarization, is Cancer, feeling, the moon. Here we have the first card being the Cancerian energy with the Chariot. That number 7 as well. Everything adds up. Notice how the message is going. Okay. At the bottom of the deck here, we have healing the divine masculine. Osiris rises. Let me tell y'all something. Osiris rises. When he rises, the other sun is born. The other vision, the other side of seeing things comes through. But you see, it took for a divine connection. That spark, that flame, that energy, that force, that fire to breathe life back into Osiris, to protect and guide him. Under that, well, two cards came out. Spirit is speaking, pay attention. The brother in darkness, overcoming negative energy with feminine power. After what was just said. Followed by spirit of Isis, triumph of the goddess. The whistleblower for some of you. For those of you who resonate with that, I said do one more. This would be the sixth message. The dark mysteries. Enter the chamber of the dark goddess. The whistleblower. That space, that eternal space. Wills again. Here we go. At the bottom of the deck, we have Pele. That fire, that breath, the Queen of Wands, Pele. The goddess of the volcano, the goddess that created Hawaii. It won't be surprised if this is probably where we at. Come through. Ho'aponopono. Final message. Ten of Swords. Mercury and the Sun and Gemini. Spirit say this is happening now. Close out the cycle and rise up to the occasion of a new life. But you must close this out to gain the clarity, because the Ace of Swords is after this. The Ace of Swords is actually 6/22, 6/27, June 22nd to June 27th. Spirit, what can the collective expect? You're going to shut it down soon. What can the collective expect? Beautiful message. What can the collective expect? That inner strength and inner wisdom that you've built on this long journey. Yes, it took long. But you now have the skill. What can they expect with the skill and the journey? What can they expect with the skill and the journey? Actually, it came out this way. You can expect all the patience that you've had to be rewarded with divine power, to rule a kingdom, to rule your kingdom. But you must do things based on your truth, your absolute truth, your personal truth. Jupiter, and I'm going to talk about Jupiter and Neptune because this is a Sagittarius card, Temperance, ruled by Jupiter, but Jupiter is also the ancient ruler of Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces right now. It's home. So Jupiter carries both Sagittarius and Piscean energy. I'm going to put this one down for right now. Remember when we was talking about that dream state? Okay. Part of the journey right now is that you need to surrender to the divine, surrender to source for the rest that's left. Remember when I said I feel like some of you are in and out because you're trying to do the divine's job. And I said trying because that's an insult to doing. Leave it to the divine to temper everything else. Feel, yes, okay? When you start wondering how things are happening, when it's not going the way you want it to go, you need to surrender that because that's going to keep you stagnant. You won't be able to move. You got all this clarity behind you, but that one thing, remember? Virgo energy, Sag energy. Polar opposite wise will be Gemini for Sag, Pisces for Virgo. So it could be either way. Then you have stepping into your power. Once you realize who you are and what you can control, the who, what, when, where, and why. The how belongs here. That's actually Archangel Michael. And Archangel Michael was, we have the hostilities, taking time to reflect, bringing you into balance, okay? Leading you into your abundance and happiness, for sure is the Emperor. And under this is Archangel Michael. So Archangel Michael is around supporting you, or Mars energy is supporting you if you know where Mars is in your chart. If you know what it's doing. Know what these planets, your personalities are doing. Go to work. Okay? Because all this greatness, this right here, this is power beyond power in itself. But you must master these low vibrational forces, because once you tap into this energy, there's going to be other energies that always want to pull and be around you, but you got to have that discernment. Okay? Let me get a wisdom card, and we'll close this reading with the wisdom message. Message, divine source, connect to the collective. What is the words of wisdom for the collective? Chop wood. Y'all gonna see why. Let me just read it. Thank you, divine source, for confirming that, and we'll end it there. Yes. 42. Chop wood. See, the door is open, but there's a broom and a pail there. The door is open. This is number 42. 42 in the Lenormand deck is actually the compass. Follow the voice of your soul. See where this is going? Being grounded in everyday experience, humility. The oracle's message. There are times when the big dream is meant to lie dormant in your consciousness so that you can pay attention to the simple chores in your life. Consider why pruning a tree is the forerunner of delighting in the beautiful blooms when it is in full blossom. The mundane act of pulling off dead leaves, watering the soil, and then leaving it to be to let nature take its course is an important step in manifestation. Taking your attention away from your goals brings you into a state of receptivity. This is a deeper purpose for releasing attachment. When you engage in everyday tasks in a meditative, contemplative way, you clear your energy to receive your aha moments, which brings you ever closer to what you seek. Relationship message. Nothing is as important right now as just doing what you need to do day to day. Let your heart remember that not everything has to be hard-won, passionate, or even obviously meaningful. Relationships and friendships go through lows when everyday tasks are at the center of awareness. That is perfect now, excuse me. Hold hands, wash dishes, make a fire, read a book, share a meal, say nothing, stare into space, pick up socks, tell a dumb joke, and leave space to breathe. The work of your relationship right now is very simple, just to be present. Funny how it takes work to just be. All is well, really. Prosperity message. Now is the time to take small steps rather than large leaps on the journey to creating your most prosperous life. Move your focus off your big dream and attend to the mundane chores. Focus on the little things that may have piled up while you've been mapping out the greater plan for the life you aspire to manifest into reality. Chop wood, carry water, as the Zen Proverbs describes or advises, or wash dishes, walk the dog. While you're doing all that, Spirit will have a chance to move mountains and set wondrous miracles in motion for you. Remain in the respect of yourself and aware of the present. Now it says humble, but that I didn't want to say humble because I want you to be in your power. That's another thing we shift in, just saying. Protection message. Are you an armchair astronaut? Do you dream of wealth and fame, big ideas, inventions, or desires with a capital D? The appearance of this card is a sign that you might be devoting far too much time to dreaming and talking about your dreams. You have to get out of the chair to make things happen. You actually have to do something. Start with the small task. Remember, the big dream becomes reality only after you have begun to take incremental steps. Baby steps. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. Take one step towards the gods, and they will take 10 steps towards you. My loves, that is your message. And thank you for joining me. And I will see y'all next time for the messages. If you need to book a personal reading with me, the information is on my description box below.